I am everybody's good friend, Joe. Welcome to Sip and Talk.
And good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time zone you're in right now. Welcome back to Sip and Talk. I'm Sunny. And I desperately need help right now because my hamstrings have literally just issued me a final ultimatum.
Oh, man. Let me guess, you got completely tortured by your yoga instructor again today.
Yes. I mean, I'm really trying here. I want to be as flexible as those Silicon Valley elites. Like, I want to handle all of life's challenges with perfect zen and flexibility.
Right.
But the harder I try to bend, the more my body just completely rebels against me. I was stuck in this awful compromised position earlier where, like, the floor just didn't want me, and I am pretty sure my spine wants a divorce.
That is painfully descriptive, honestly.
Yeah.
But that painful, trembling midair yoga stance, that actually sounds exactly like the current situation of Taiwan's oldest political party, the KMT.
Wait, oh my gosh, the Kuomintang.
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, in political science, we talk about this concept of strategic flexibility. And the KMT right now is like an elderly person attempting this super advanced yoga pose. Like they're trying to show Beijing, hey, my joints are super flexible. We can absolutely talk.
Oh, wow.
But at the exact same time, they have to prove to Taiwanese voters that that their bones are stiff enough not to kneel.
That visual is wild. So they're just, stuck in midair, like shaking uncontrollably, trying to appease everyone?
Exactly. And I have to deadpan this for you because in the eyes of the voters, this isn't flexibility at all. It's just straight up structural instability.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because people don't actually care about the fancy pose anymore. They want to know, where are your core muscles? What is actually holding you up?
Right. And if you try to please both sides like that, you usually just end up breaking yourself in half. Plus, we can't forget that the KMT has some really serious old injuries.
Oh, definitely.
Like, when you have an old knee injury, certain stretches are just always going to be agonizing. And for them, that historical baggage, like the White Terror era, that is a massive old injury that just flares up every time they try to bend.
Exactly. So that brings us to our mission for today. The big topic is political yoga. Is KMT stretching for peace or just cramping up?
I love that. But hey, before we completely dive into the deep end here, let's put away the political scalpel for just a second. I need to grab some coffee.
Good call. Grab your mugs, sip and talkers, because we're getting right into it.
All right, let's do this.
So we have to look at how the Taiwanese public is reacting to this incredibly awkward stance the KMT is taking. Because right now, there's this massive internet taunt going around.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, people are essentially telling the KMT, hey, if you love their system so much, just go back to China and work with the Communist Party.
Which is, that is just the ultimate political cancel culture right there.
It really is.
If you look at it through a tech lens, it's like the users telling a developer, hey, if you love their software ecosystem so much, just go work for their company.
That is a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
I view it as this massive disaster of product market fit.
Oh, totally.
The KMT is basically trying to sell a 90s processor like the 1992 Consensus to a modern Taiwanese market that has already completely updated its OS to a 2026 version of sovereignty. It just won't run.
It's completely incompatible. And if we look at Beijing's side of this, they use this term compatriots, right?
Right.
Which is such a loaded term. It's like a giant tech monopoly giving a small startup this forced aggressive hug.
Yeah, a very uncomfortable hug.
Exactly. And they're basically saying, hey, we share the exact same source code, so your startup actually belongs to us now. That isn't sentimental kinship. That is a hostile takeover.
It's a textbook hostile takeover. And the geopolitical reality here is that if the KMT actually did take that internet taunt seriously and relocated to Beijing,
they'd be crushed.
Yeah, they wouldn't be partners. They wouldn't be on the board of directors. They would literally just be honorary retirees sitting in some minor provincial branch.
Right, with zero actual power.
Zero. So because they can't actually move to China, they're stuck in Taiwan having to somehow sell this supposed flexibility to the voters.
And we all saw how they tried to market that recently. What a PR catastrophe.
Oh, man. We have to talk about the April 2026 promo video.
Yes, the AI-generated video.
So they released this campaign using AI, trying to push this narrative that that piece allows you to just lie flat. They showed all these peaceful visuals, birds flying instead of missiles, stuff like that.
I literally laughed out loud when I saw that. The disconnect with youth culture is just staggering.
It really is. Explain the lying flat thing for our sip-and-talkers who might not be deep into modern internet slang.
Right, so lying flat, or tang ping, it doesn't mean relaxing on a beach. In modern internet culture, it means completely giving up on a broken system. It's what young people say when the economic pressure is so bad that they just drop out of the rat race entirely.
Right. It's despair, not relaxation.
Exactly. So when a political party uses that as a national security slogan, it is wild.
It was a multi-directional failure. Like, it failed on every possible level.
Oh, totally.
The Green camp looked at it and immediately called it a surrender manifesto.
Which makes sense from their perspective.
But then the Deep Blue base, the KMT's own traditional Orthodox supporters, they were absolutely furious too, because they pride themselves on strength, not weakness.
Right, they want to project power.
Exactly. And then the general public just mocked them relentlessly for basically asking Taiwan to just lie down and wait for unification.
Just roll over. I mean, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about old yoga injuries.
Yeah.
Why are voters so quick to assume the absolute worst from the KMT's messaging?
That is the million-dollar question.
And it comes down to historical baggage. We have to look at this objectively. The KMT has this foreign regime legacy, and of course, the White Terror era from 1949 to 1987.
Nearly 4 decades of martial law. That is a lot of trauma.
It is, and it creates this massive rebranding contradiction. Imagine you have a landlord who violently bullied you for decades, right?
Okay, tracking with you.
And then one day, he suddenly shows up at your door wearing a Best Neighbor t-shirt offering you a peace treaty.
I am instantly suspicious.
Exactly. Your first instinct isn't to hug him. Your first instinct is to check his hands to see if he's hiding a weapon.
That is so true. In 2026, the KMT is just suffering from this astronomical trust deficit. When voters go to the polls, they aren't just looking at the current policy page. They are voting based on identity and deeply rooted historical trauma. And for the KMT to just cling to this orthodox 1990s history, it is a textbook sunk cost fallacy.
Oh, absolutely. Which perfectly sets up the ultimate real-time test of this political yoga they tried to pull off.
The April 2026 peace mission. This was supposed to be the moment they proved their strategy actually worked. KMT chairwoman Cheng Li-wan took this high-stakes 6-day trip to Beijing.
And it culminated in that April 10th meeting with Xi Jinping. The optics of that were just, oh my gosh, so incredibly awkward.
Painful to watch.
Right. It was this 14-second handshake where Xi Jinping barely even smiled. He looked entirely stern, just completely stone-faced.
Yeah.
While Cheng was just like overly eager, and they only brought a delegation of 13 people.
It looked so small.
It made the whole thing look less like a real diplomatic summit and way more like this low-level corporate inspection.
Yeah.
Like a regional manager reporting to the CEO.
And the glaring irony of the whole trip, the thing that completely shattered their narrative, was what happened on the exact day of that meeting.
Oh, the military jets.
Yes. While Cheng was standing there preaching about institutionalized peace, Beijing was actively flexing its military muscles. They sent 17 military jets to harass Taiwan on that exact same day.
You literally cannot make that up.
You are shaking hands for peace while they are swarming your airspace. The data from the aftermath is just brutal, too. The hard truth is in the numbers.
Let's hear the numbers.
The March 2026 Formosa poll showed the KMT's unfavorability hit 54.3%.
Wow. Over half the country.
Yep. And Chairwoman Cheng's personal trust level was at an abysmal 23.9%.
That is a disaster.
Over 56% of the public felt this trip actually hurt the KMT instead of helping them.
I mean, just look at the netizen reactions on PTT and X. People were absolutely savage.
What were you saying?
They were calling Cheng a chameleon. They were mocking the entire trip as kneeling for peace. Because, how can you sell peace when the missiles are literally still pointed right at you?
You can't. You really can't. So if we synthesize all of this, the KMT is basically trapped in no man's land.
Right.
They were too red for Taiwan, meaning they look too close to Beijing for the Taiwanese voters, but they are not red enough for Beijing.
Because Beijing wants total compliance.
Exactly. So they have to make a choice. If they want to survive, they have to shift from identity politics to values politics.
I completely agree. Just wrapping up that tech analogy from earlier, it's like they don't just need a quick new software patch.
No, a patch won't fix this.
They need a deep cleaning of their actual code, their soul, basically. Because if you are a buggy app that just keeps throwing out security warnings every time the user opens it,
You get deleted.
yeah, the voters are just going to click uninstall.
It is that simple.
And, it's really funny.
What's that?
If the KMT actually did relocate across the strait like that internet taunt suggested, they wouldn't even be able to watch Netflix or listen to Sip&Talk because of the Great Firewall.
Oh, man, that is hilarious and painfully true. They'd be totally cut off. Well, on that note, instead of getting boba tea today, I think we need to go grab some black coffee.
Oh, definitely. We need to stay sharp after unpacking all of that.
Absolutely.
All right, Sip and Talkers, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for the Sip and Talk podcast so you don't miss our next chat.
And hey, before we go, a huge shout out to our good friend, Mickey. You guys have got to check out his travel vlog channel on YouTube. It's called Mickey to Life. He makes some really incredible content.
Yes, definitely go support him. We will catch you guys next time. Stay flexible, but keep your core strong.